can just about get enough air out to be able to talk properly without, and get enough air in without it really hurting my back. So I thought I should get on, finish up the scope footage and the THC testing to get the Grandi Guava video reviews done. Anyone who has been watching the channel for any length of time knows what I'm about to say. That's all cheesed. Anyone new to the channel, the stuff that looks like sugar, looks like melted cheese, that's what were the heads of the crystals that make up your medicine, the stuff that falls off in the bottom of your keef jar. The globes that you see at the top of stalks in photography such as this, the things we're looking for. And if you look right in the middle, in fact, let's zoom in, see if I can zoom in on that. Over on the right there is what I mean. Those glistening tops to the stalks. Those little spheres. That's where most of your medicine is. That's a large part of your medicine delivery system going on there. And all of this stuff that looks a bit sugary that's around it, that's all that's left of those heads. And the same with these stalks. All these empty stalks once had those heads on them. Nearly all of the outside of this, if you excuse my voice, it hurts to cough as well, so clearing my throat becomes a little tricky. So now when I say over on the right there, that's all cheese. Over on the left, that's all cheesed, all those empty stalks. It's not really what we're looking for. It's something of an indication of the age of the bud, potentially of the degradation level, the oxidization level, the way this plant has been treated. And for something that was the other side of the same bud, for something that's so covered in leaf, you would hope it'd be more protected than this. But sadly, that isn't the case. Lots of stalks, empty stalks, and lots of cheese. I've had this for a little bit now. About 3 weeks, I think, with the 62% Boveda pack that it arrived with. But it's still really quite vague. And it's not enough to be able to recommend this. Certainly not with that amount of leaf. So let's have a look at the inside of this. First of all, while we're still blurred, place your bets on whether we're going to see any heads or not. And I am slightly, oh dear. Okay, well, I don't know how old this is, but I'm slightly, I was going to say I'm slightly pleasantly surprised by what's happening over there on the right, but then you look at the rest of it. That's top middle, we have big lump of cheese, and yeah, that's not looking particularly cared for. There we go, that's more like it. We do have, as you can tell from the colour of the cheese there on the bottom left, I would say that's what remains of some amber heads there. And that is maybe borne out by the amber that's happening in the middle there on the left. But that is the middle of the bud as well, all this bit. That's not doing so well. Oh, that's nice though. It's a nice image, but you can see, there we go, you can see on that bit on the top right then, you can see where the cheesy bit is, where the degradation is happening. The oxidization is going on. And there's other heads that are still standing that are more clear. The amber's nice to see, but don't really want to see degradation right. That's interesting. Top left. I can't even see that with my eye. But anyway. Okay, let's open another one. Because I have got a few left, because I've not been doing that much of the Grandi Guava, because quite frankly, I don't really like it that much. There we go. Every part of this should be from the internals of the bud. I know what I'm thinking we can see already, but place your bets before I zoom. And we're zooming. No, I should say focusing anyway, not zooming. So that's the inside of a bud. That should all be pure, wonderful, stalked capitate trichomes, and instead we have fields of cheese. And one almighty splat of some sort of oil in the top middle there. That's got the light bouncing off it. Here's another bit. This is all inside as well of a completely different bud. Just pulled this off. And yeah, it's all mush. There's a few heads over on the right there, but it's mostly mush. And at the bottom there we have a nice big stalk with no heads on it. In fact, we've got a few stalks over there with no heads on. They're there. They've just all melted, degraded, oxidized. And that is what gives it, that is where most of the terpene content's going to be. And terpenes, a lot of them can be very volatile compounds that don't stand up to much stress, you know, heat, light, all those kind of things. And the inside of this bud is degrading already, is oxidizing already. This is all speculation just based on what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing. That would lead me to believe that that's why this isn't particularly stinky. Personally, no, I wouldn't buy this again. It's not that good for pressing. It's going in the BHO tube. That being said, the bit that you're looking at right now, I'm going to grind up and I'm going to try in the Moab. I've got the temperature turned way down because I cannot risk coughing at all because it fucking hurts. now I've had this curing in inverted commas for a bit, I'll try this before shooting the Purple Pro footage, which I'm going to do as soon as I press stop on this. Or was going to, but I'll vape this bud now instead. See you on the next bit. And now it's this bit again. I've had some more of, in fact it's just here, had some more of the Grandi Guava. I haven't spoken for days, so my voice is a bit, brain and voice are disconnected. Because I can't cough, and I can't risk coughing without a lot of pain, and because I can't breathe into much and too quickly and to a full extent. Another reason for me to go without water in this. The water isn't there, so there's no filtering of visible vapour and no volatile terpenes get screwed around by the water. There's no flavour from the water, and I'm not posh. I just have council pop, tap water. Not being able to breathe properly to turn the Moab right down. So bowls are take longer to consume, and because I'm at much lower temperatures, and everything to do with what I've just said with the glass, air bath, and because the glass was clean when I started, there's as few hindrances to picking up on flavour as is possible without just using a different device basically, and just grab the whip whenever. It's actually really convenient for me personally. Anyway, all that is to say the Grandi Guava is really fucking middling. There's not that much flavour to it at all. I can smell it when I open the jar. It's definitely got a creamy thing going on, but the fruit's a lot more difficult to notice, and overall it's just not really very stinky or terpy. Simple as that. It's not absolutely terrible. It's not Tilray. It's not overly dry, and it's not disgusting. And its effects are reasonable. But we're at a point now in this market, and this is amazing to be able to say this, but we're at a point where we can actually choose between a bunch of acceptable to great meds. It's unusual times. I'm surprised I'm able to even say that, but it's true. So while there's other stuff out that has a decent amount of flavour and smell, it's hard to recommend something that is middling. As the market stands at the moment, I only want to be buying from that top few percent of stuff that's great. It's not a price thing. Not all those things have to be a tenner at all, and they shouldn't be. So it ends up being everything from, yeah, acceptable, down to, oh, that's dog shit. Gets classed as the same in my head in a lot of ways, and I can only really recommend that stuff that's really good at the top. Everything else is too much nuance to be able to recommend it, if you know what I mean. Everything else is, well, this part of it's okay, but this isn't good, this isn't good. Let's speak about this one in particular. The effects are okay, the flavour's not particularly there, and the leaf is pretty bad. So it may not be a terrible flower, but while there's stuff there to point out that needs improving, that means it can't be a recommendation. Do you know what I mean? I'm only going to be able to recommend things that I would want to buy again and again and again. Doesn't mean that it's, you know, the best of the best flower, but it needs to be, you know, but if it's perfect medicine, that's all I can recommend. Can't recommend anything else. That is to say, this falls below that percentage, and it's kind of up to you what you make of that. To me, it ends up being a no. I wouldn't buy this again. And as usual, that's gotten flour all over the desk. Let's go. Place your bets. This is a 25% flour. Place your bets. 22%, just a little bit off. And that, my friends, is that. Oh, my back's starting to get a bit better now. I can actually clear my throat a little bit and maybe get a full sentence out with some kind of enthusiasm, but let's not overdo it, eh? So that's the end of that review. Thank you for watching any of the parts that you've watched. A little bit of housekeeping, usual YouTube stuff. 90% of viewers of these videos aren't subscribed, and you'll be doing me a massive favour, and you'll be helping out patients around the country if you hit the like button and give us a subscribe and leave a comment letting me know what you think of the Grandi Guava if you've had it. And yeah, commenting really helps the channel as well. So, and I do go through and I read the comments and I try and reply as much as I can. And kind of unrelated, but I bought this the other day, the Pocket Zion. Zion. I am going to do my best to get to a grow, because this device just here has two sensors that come off it, and it takes data from those sensors and uses that information to transform it into audio via some nifty algorithms that are on the device. And it does that by checking the electrical resistance of whatever you're attaching it to. That thing has to be alive. Me, for instance, I'm vaguely alive. See, various parameters in there, so it can be changed to pump out different kinds of audio, different sequences and scales and all that kind of stuff. And yes, someone has suggested that I attach it to my balls, and no, I won't be making that video public. However, I'm going to get this to a grow, and if I'm allowed to attach these to any plants they've got, I will be making some music out of cannabis. Anyway, coming up soon on the channel is the Cake City from Superseed, Beach Wedding from Craft, Jealousy Times Apples and Bananas from Truro Cannabis. I've got other products on the way that aren't 4C, and I'll upload those to the channel as soon as I've had them for a little bit, long enough to try them out and review them. This is probably going to get a positive review. The Beach Wedding is a little bit the Jealousy Times Apples and Bananas is probably going to get a positive review. So that's the finding briefly from these at the moment is this is tasty as fuck, this is tasty as fuck, this is a bit muted but effective. There you go. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm now going to attach these to my nipples. I'll speak to you all soon. Stay medicated, folks. See you on the next one.